go to Kendrick.
Good Kid, Mad City versus Damn. Mm,
But
mm.
we can't discount To Pimp a Butterfly. Like that
No,
has to be in the conversation.
no. You can't discount Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
No. Um, so while you can't discount that, I will discount that in a sense. Like it's the least accessible one. Um,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
probably the best artistic expression, honestly, upon re-listen and revisiting,
Hmm.
but it's the least accessible. I think he had a better balance of artistic expression and accessibility on both Good Kid, Mad City and on To Pimp a Butterfly. Personally, I'm gonna go Good Kid, Mad City because shit, am I? Cohesive story is the only reason I have for Good Kid, Mad City. Um, Damn is a lot more difficult to understand, especially with the backwards and forwards different listening. And I know that's probably an argument for it, but Good Kid Mad City has the better tracks. Like the highlights on Good Kid Mad City to me are better than the highlights on Damn. And I'm specifically going to say Mad City and Money Trees. And those are the two best tracks in his entire discography. And they're both on that record. So that's what I'm going to go with.
I stand in agreement with what you say, which is why it makes it hard. Like, damn, he mentioned, and he also acknowledged the potential argument for it too, but just the narrative through Good Kid, Mad City, which is definitely undeniable. It makes sense as to why on the cover it says a short film by Kendrick Lamar
Mm-hmm.
because it 100% feels like that. And shout out to Maya Angelou being on that album as well. But damn, you mentioned the forwards and the backwards. The way in which you have to not only write songs, but then sequence them in such a way where you're intentional about a story that, like they say in the album, is it wickedness or is it weakness? Where if you listen to it in one direction, in one sequence, let's say the way in which it is on the initial pressing, starting with Blood and ending with Duckworth, is it wickedness or is it weakness definitely shows up as far as where the narrative and the theme of the song start and where they end up. Then when you flip that and start with Duckworth and you work your way to Blood, you can see how something that started off with a decision to essentially not rob this person and ultimately be top dog and Kendrick's father and the story leading into Kendrick being in the studio, or being alive at all to even exist, and then how there is this arc that ends with DNA and blood versus starting there is masterful. I mean, it's one of the main reasons why it won a Pulitzer Prize.
The only
You know,
rap album ever.
yeah. And so like when I think about narrative and I think about storytelling and I think about craftsmanship between these two albums, they are both there. And so without Good Kid, Mad City, there wouldn't be the opportunity to do something as masterful as Damn, where you can have a completely different listening experience listening to them forwards or backwards. But at the same time, I can also understand and even agree with the argument that Good Kid, Mad City is the choice. And almost because of how direct it was, from start to finish, you didn't need to have this mind blowing aha moment to listen to the album in its reverse. Yes, that adds to its impact and its recognition or need to be recognized. But if debating between the two and kind of just putting them out to somebody who never heard Kendrick before and what would resonate possibly most with a fresh ear and a listener who is unfamiliar with him or his body of work or maybe even unfamiliar with hip hop, Good Kid, Mad City might strike a more direct chord with that person than Damn would. And so for that, I'll lean Good Kid, Mad City and understand the cut.